afternoon, everybody. It is Meteor Rush Forecast, guys, and welcome back to the video. Hope you guys are all enjoying your wonderful Saturday afternoon. This is our last night to sleep in before my Christmas break ends, and I'm actually going to be getting a couple very small snow showers later tonight. Not looking like there's going to be an accumulation, but again, this is going to be another update on the this new this new weather pattern, really. I posted on it yesterday as well, and I'm actually not going to be doing a separate video today for the both regions. I'm just going to do them together again. It's just more convenient for like today, as I'm not necessarily have that much time on my hands right now today. But again, this is going to be a second update. There are a couple new big differences compared to yesterday, like the new GFS run and even the new National Westerns run or NOAA run. Basically, they're kind of a bit different. And yeah, we're gonna be covering basically all the way from like now to like January 17th. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, guys. It really means a lot when you guys support my channel. I do daily weather forecasts, and I'm planning on posting on this as well for the next couple of days. So if you really want to find out how bad or how cold, how warm it's going to be for basically how long it's going to last, then be sure to subscribe. Also, be sure to share the channel to any friends or family that you think want to know exactly what this January is going to look like and why it's too hot, why it's too cold, and when will it end. So I'm going to be covering all of that in the video. But yeah, be sure to hit the big like button, and also be sure to hit the post notification icon so you get notified as soon as I post this video, so you get the best and most recent news. But without further ado, let's get in this video. So we are going to be looking at the National Weather Service, or sorry, the NOAA. I always like saying National Weather Service because I always look at the National Weather Service. But again, we're going to be looking here what this 6 to 10 day outlook has. So this is from January 10th to the 14th. So this is when this heat really starting to pick up in the east, and that's when the cold is really starting to really pick up as well in the west. Right now, from like now to like January 7th, it's going to be somewhat like this, but also not. We're gonna have a couple cold air pockets here in the southeast, in the eastern United States, and even a big warm front in the Pacific Northwest. But this is all gonna change by or mostly January 8th is when it's really gonna change. Like I say, this is why it's such a big change in the U.S. pattern. That's why I say new U.S. pattern. But again, over here in much of the eastern United States, we're gonna be seeing very, very warm temperatures as well. Very likely to see some fall and even spring like temperatures out here. So definitely not feeling like winter at all. It's just not going to be the January we thought it was going to be a kind of cold January out here into the northeast and even Midwest. And obviously we thought it was going to be a bit warmer, a little bit in the deep southeast near the Gulf Coast, but not this bad, not this widespread, even long lasting. Again, our best chances for above average temperatures are right here. This is going to be ranging from 70 to even 100% chance for above average temperatures. This is where we'll be seeing the worst of the temperatures as well. We're going to be seeing up to 22 degrees above average to 23 degrees above average, and we'll see that in the European update. Again, it's going to be very warm. It's going to be spring-like temperatures. We're going to be seeing some 70s and 80s as well. And also the colder temperatures will be, or the warmer temperatures won't be as bad here in the Midwest, the Ozarks, and all the way to Texas. That's where we're going to be seeing up to a 33% chance to 60% chance for above average temperatures. And that's where we're going to be seeing mostly around maybe up to ranging 5 to 10 degrees above average, maybe even 3 to 5 degrees above average. Again, the worst of it, though, is definitely going to be over here into the eastern United States, like much of the eastern coast, Arizona, Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley. It's just going to be, the worst of it's going to be right here. So for some reason, I'm not happy about being included in the 100% chance, really. So definitely something that I don't want to be in. And then we're going to be looking at the cold air out here into the western United States. Again, this is very widespread, all the way from the Dakotas, the plain, or kind of the central plains out here, all the way to the southwest, throughout much of the northern Rockies, southern Rockies, western Rockies, just all these mountain ranges, including the Sierra Mountains. Again, it's going to be very widespread. We're going to have all this cold air coming from Canada. It's going to come here, right here. And we actually have the ridge. The ridge is going to come down. That's where it's going to bring this cold air, and it's going to kind of push like this in and out, and then go like this. So this is going to be basically what the ridge is going to look like. So it's going to keep this cold air all the way in here, and it's going to make this whatever warm air we have here it's going to push it. We're going to have a jet stream that's going to go this way. It's going to push this warm air. That's why it's going to continue to be warm for a super long time. And again, we're going to be seeing our best chances for cold air out here into many areas in these shaded colors, all the way from a 60 to a 80% chance for above average temperatures, really including the southwest. Definitely need this cold air. It's definitely be very long lasting cold as well for much of January, and that's where we can be seeing our best chances for cold, up to 10 to maybe even 15 degrees below average, and even some areas can be seeing 20 degrees below average. So this is now the 8 to 14 day outlook. This is all the way from January 12th to the 18th. So again, we still have this very warm air continuing to stay out here into the eastern United States, not really getting past the Midwest necessarily, but it is the worst of it actually is going to become a bit less widespread, but it's still going to be affecting many areas in the Carolinas, the Mid-Atlantic coast, and just much of the eastern coast. But again, we're going to be seeing the worst of this worst of the warm air continue to be limited throughout the Mid-Atlantic, Southeast, and even a little bit of the Ohio Valley. This year we'll continue to be seeing up to a 70, maybe even 90% chance for above average temperatures, and then we'll be seeing again up to 10 to 15 degrees above average in these areas. And we'll even see the worst, we're still going to continue to see the worst of it right here throughout the Carolinas and the Southeast. Going to be seeing up to 20 degrees above average. And then we're still going to have this little bit of area into the, as well, the Ozarks, the Midwest, all the way to Texas. Going to be seeing 33 to 60% chance of above average temperatures. That's what we'll be seeing. Not the worst of it, but it's going to be very warm at some points, up to 5 to 10 degrees above average. And then the warm air in the west just becomes or the cold air in the west. I apologize. The cold air in the west has become a lot more widespread. Not even. We're not going to be seeing all the way to the 80% chance. We're going to be seeing up to 70% chance, but that area is going to become a lot more widespread. We're going to start seeing that cool down. We could see this cold air possibly start to push out the warm air slowly. So as you can tell, like, we're going to start seeing the Midwest getting the very cold temperatures now. Like that was kind of a lot farther back, and the 6 to 10 day outlook was all the way, not even close to the North Dakota border, not even all the way to Wisconsin. So this could be this is a sign that the end of January could possibly change patterns from cold to the east to the warm to the west. That could be a sign, but again, it's not going that far out, so we can't say anything. And we're seeing the worst of the cold air through all the way from the Dakotas all the way to the west coast. Like that's around a good 1,000 miles, 1,200 miles, and that's where we'll be seeing up to a 60 to 70% chance for above average temperatures. Now we're going to be looking at the January 5th. This is going to be basically the first really big warm-up change. Again, we had this cold air right here that's going to be start affecting within the next 24 hours here. So again, you're not going to be feeling this heat right now, but definitely you really start to see this warm up again. Like I said, the cold air is going to arrive a bit later, so you're not going to be seeing the super duper cold air as well as the same time period. It will come within like January 10th, January 9th. That's when we start to see that cold air really kicking in. But the warm fronts will actually, the first couple warm fronts will affect the southeast or the southwest at some points, and by January 8th, 9th, that's when it really changes from really cold over here. So for those people thinking, it's above average in the west, what do you mean? But again, we'll be seeing very warm temperatures right here, up to 8 to 12 degrees above average throughout much of the Midwest. Again, you're going to have a little bit of a little warm front of its own out here to the eastern United States. It's going to bring up to 1.5 degrees above average, all the way to 4 degrees above average. And like I said, going to be seeing some above average temperatures in the southwest, up to 6 degrees above average, but we're going to be seeing these little areas out here in the west that will be below average temperatures, which is going to keep it from becoming a lot more widespread. As we get now into the 7th, we will be seeing this kind of warm front kind of falling apart, but still going to affect areas out here into the southeast. Going to bring up to 4 to 6 degrees above average, and even the Midwest also. But like I said, as you can tell, this cold air is becoming a lot more widespread. in the west. Again, it's not going to be super cold, but we're going to start seeing it started to cool down a little bit, so you can start to see Texas up to 1 to 3 degrees below average. You're going to be seeing this cold air kind of taking over slowly, so it's going to take a bit of a time. It's going to take a bit time for this cold air to kind of settle in, because again, it still has to go through all these warm layers to kind of just get into the United States. And even our first step is we need Canada to start cooling down, so that it kind of comes down like this. And again, as you can tell, by the January 7th, we're going to start seeing that Canada starting to cool down. That is the sign. And then look, see, we had that cold front. So by the 8th of January, you see, it kind of changed a little bit. This is a key thing. It kind of changed. We're going to start seeing below average temperatures out here into the southeast. And it's kind of, you guys are going to really have to enjoy this. I need to enjoy. Like, people out here in the east, you guys need to enjoy this small cold front, because trust me, it's not going to get any better after this. We're going to be seeing, like I said, a little bit of a warm front out here into the western United States, but not going to be that bad. But look at this. It's going to completely take over. This, like I said, by the 10th, this is when it gets at its worst moment. Like I said, look at all of British Columbia, much of Western Canada is going to cool down dramatically. It's going to be pushing this warm air out of the way, and it's going to keep this whole area to itself and the below average territory, as you can see. But look at this. This is going to intensify this warm front even just out of its range. It's going to be up to 16 to 18 degrees above average. This is going to be the first really major warm front. It's not going to get any better as it becomes into the 11th. This cold air is going to keep on pushing it. Like I said, we're going to be seeing up to 8 to 10 degrees below average out here into the western United States. You're going to be seeing up to 16 degrees below average into the northern plains. Going to bring a pocket of incredibly warm air throughout areas into the Tennessee Valley, Mississippi Valley. You're going to be seeing up to 14 degrees above average. You're going to be seeing the whole eastern coast to see more than 8 degrees above average. As we now get into the 13th, sorry, we're going to have this super duper big cold down. Look at this. Like I said, see, it's going to take a little bit of time for the whole western United States to get cold, but just look at this. Look at this cold air. This is going to bring widespread single digits and negative digits. 16 degrees below average. Going to be seeing all the way to the southwest. Going to be seeing 8 to 9 degrees above or below average. And look at this warm front. Look at this, guys. This is up to 25 degrees above average. I have yet to see a color this into this shade. I have not seen it get past this shade, and now I am. Look at this. This is all the way to the normal mark, and look at all the way where we are, up to 28 degrees above average. Look at this. I have never seen anything like this. Not even in the summer, not in the spring, not in the fall, not even close to the winter. This is something historic this is gonna play out to be one of the warmest Januaries to ever have been recorded. Like, this is just gonna be, I'm not being over dramatic, guys. Like, look at this. I've yet to see anything like this. This is gonna bring widespread warm temperatures throughout this. This is gonna get a lot worse. Like I said, this is the 14th, and then let's look at the 15th. The 15th gets not as bad, but again, it's going to be still bringing up to 20 degrees to 22 degrees above average for Pennsylvania, New York. Look at this cold air, this huge cold air out here into the plains now. By the 15th, this cold air will start to arrive into the Midwest, so that could be when this cold air kind of takes over. But nope, does not happen by the 18th. We're going to see another warm front. But look at this. All of Canada is cold now. So it's going to take a very long time for any of these areas in Canada to warm up enough to push warm air to the United States. So this most likely in the 18th will be the last major warm front. And it won't be as bad as the others. It'll be mostly affect the south central up to 8 to 12 degrees above average. And then look, we have the cold air. Like I said, it's going to be super duper long. It's going to take a super long time for any cold air or any warm air to really push through. Because all the way from British Columbia, Nova Scotia, it's going to be completely just below average. So it's going to be very rare. So that could mean that by the end of January, we could have a bit of a cool down, or for actually very widespread cool down. So that could mean that all the way to March, we could be seeing the winter we expected in these areas. Like I said, by the 5th or tomorrow, like I said, we're going to be seeing a bit of a cold front out here into the eastern United States. That's going to be within the next 24 hours. But again, that's going to be like the second to last really a taste of cold you're going to really be seeing, because we have just a huge army of just warm fronts that is just going to come in and surround these areas. As we now get into Monday, we're gonna have a bit of a cool down, as you'd say, in the western United States. But like I said in the beginning of the video, we're gonna be seeing some areas in the Pacific Northwest and even Southwest that will be above average. Like I said, that like by the 9th or 10th, that's when we have this pattern really happening. But again, we're gonna be seeing up to 8 to 9 degrees above average out here into Minnesota, Midwest. And then European actually shows a bit of a cold front, actually, a very big cold front, up to really 8 to 9 degrees below average in the northeast, but GFS did not show that. But again, by the 9th, we have this cold air kicking down here into the western United States, going to bring it up to really 6 to 7 degrees below average, maybe even 8 at some points, and that's going to just make this warm front a lot worse. You're probably thinking it's surrounded by this cold air. How can another one come in? Well, look at this open space right here. We got a little open space right here, where I'm not saying that's where a warm front is going to come from, but that's where it's going to have space, or kind of have if it has the energy, it can push this cold air back into eastern Canada, and that can open a window for more warm fronts to come in with the jet stream. So I'm not saying that's where we'll have the warm fronts entering, but again, look, like I said, it's either going to push, it's either going to use the open window, or maybe even push this cold air out. But again, we'll be seeing up to 19 degrees above average throughout these areas. Look at this, the up to 16 degrees above average. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong number. 16 degrees above average throughout areas into New York. That's going to be Buffalo, so it's definitely not going to be seeing that lake effect snow as often as we've been seeing. Look at the super cold air. You're going to be seeing up to 19 degrees below average entering the United States with this cold front. And then we're going to be seeing this cold front, or warm front, getting a lot worse. Still going to be seeing up to 16 degrees above average throughout all these areas throughout the northeast. The worst of the warmth will be over here into southern Kentucky, southern West Virginia. And just going to even just intensify the cold front. Going to be seeing up to 20 degrees below average in some areas, and maybe even up to 13 to 15 degrees below average. And then that's when we have the worst warm front I have ever seen. Look at these colors, 23 degrees above average. Guys, I have yet to see anything like this. This is just going to be historically warm, just record-breaking warm January. It's just going to be massively cold. And look at the cold front we have coming here. We're going to have record-breaking heat and then record-breaking cold. 26 degrees below average. That's going to plunge into the negative digits for sure for Montana. Look at this, guys. This is going to completely affect the pattern that we're going to be seeing for the Northeast. 20 degrees above average for Boston, Hartford, and then widespread up to 8, all the way to 15 degrees above average throughout the eastern United States. And then we're going to be seeing very cold temperatures throughout these areas into the western United States, and then all the way by the 14th later on. We're going to just continue to see this heat get a lot worse. It's just going to be one of the worst heat waves I've ever seen in my life. And that's going to bring up to 22 degrees above average. So by the 9th, you can be seeing these overnight lows. Again, we're going to be seeing some pretty nice temperatures. You're going to be pretty calm out here into Texas. But watch these highs, though. Like, these highs are going to, this is when we have that first major warm front and the first really major cold front. You watch these areas. If you guys are looking for the cold front and want to see how bad the cold front's going to be, watch over here as we move on closer into the end of next week. And also, if you want to focus on the warm front, focus over here as we get into the next couple later next weekend or later next week. All right, so here we are by January 10th. This is when we have the major warm front coming in. We're to have widespread 60s all the way to North Carolina. We're going to be seeing some very high 50s all the way to southern Indiana. Almost 72 degrees for areas near Dallas, up to 75 near Houston. Going to be seeing widespread high 60s and 70s. And look at this. Like I said, we're going to be seeing these single digits coming in over here in these areas, and even negative digits. We're going to be seeing up to negative 15 degrees come in these areas. We're going to be seeing single digits coming in with this cold front. We're going to be up to 4 degrees near areas of Montana from this just major cold front. Again, this is going to be like not even close to the worst cold front. And then look at this. By January 11th, we're going to be seeing up to 58 degrees in Pennsylvania, 70 degrees for Virginia Beach, and even Richmond, guys. This is not what March. This is not April. This is January. We never had temperatures get this close to 70 degrees in Virginia, 83 throughout Florida. We're gonna be, which is actually still rare to see 80s, and then we're gonna be seeing these temperatures really starting to warm up. We're gonna start seeing some 50s, even 40s as high as in Maine. Not too bad, but again, that's still above average. And look at the cold air just continuing to come down and get a lot worse. Like I said, we're gonna be seeing up to 8 degrees. 8 degrees. We're gonna be seeing it 1 degree, and just look at the cold air. Like, look at this cold air. Negative 20 to negative 30 degrees coming in the United States. See up to negative 15 throughout areas near Helena, up to negative 3 to negative 8 degrees for all of Wyoming. Gonna be seeing widespread teens just outside of Los Angeles. We're gonna be seeing some 20s. We're gonna see some 30s in Arizona. We're gonna be seeing up to 7 degrees near Nevada. Those are gonna be incredibly cold temperatures. But look at this heat. Up to 71 for Dallas. Gonna be seeing 64 throughout areas near Oklahoma City. But look at this, guys. 63 degrees for Indiana, northern Indiana. That never happened in beginning of January. They usually see snow at this time. If it was like normal like this, we can be seeing snow right now in these areas. 65 degrees in northern Indiana, 67 in northern Tennessee. Look at this, 69 for areas near Tupelo. That is incredibly crazy, just warm. And look at this, 59. We're gonna have 68, even some 60s into New York. This is gonna be crazy. And just look at this. Then we'll start to see this cold kind of heading back to the United States. Like I said, we're gonna be seeing up to 24 from my area. So this could be the normal pattern now. Again, we'll start seeing some single digits now. But as you guys can tell, we're not gonna be getting below like 30, or it's gonna be a very long time without reaching below freezing, which will be like 2-3 days, which is pretty rare for this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I apologize for this video being really long. Again, I just really want to try to express like all this stuff. I'm gonna try to plan tomorrow to do this video into 2 parts, so it's not too long. One for the cold and one for the warm. Again, if the warm video is gonna be all about the warm. So if you want to hear about the cold, wait for the cold video. But again, I'll let you guys know later if I'm gonna do it separately. But I'm planning on probably having the warm part first and then the cold. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.